We have about 7 or 8 weeks ago, as we began experiencing packer shutdowns, starting with a Tyson plant in Iowa that we ship regularly to, we began putting pigs on what we would call holding diets, removing the energy and the calories from the diet in an attempt to prevent pigs from getting too big. Most packers cannot handle carcasses that weigh much over 330 pounds. A typical market weight pig is around 280 to 300. So once we saw that these plants were going to experience labor issues, we began slowing pigs down. And because you not only can you not ship a pig that's that heavy, you also have to empty barns to make room for baby pigs coming in. And you know that you can't just shut that spigot off. Those sows are pregnant and they're farrowing, and so you have to make room for baby pigs to come into the same barns. Ideally, the baby pigs would come into an empty barn that's been cleaned and disinfected. However, with this situation, we are bringing baby pigs into barns that continue to house market weight pigs. Operation is located in central Illinois, a little town called Eureka, which is right between Peoria and Bloomington. I'm the third generation to farm here, and we raise corn and soybeans, and we market around 90 to 100,000 pigs a year, using some of our own barns and contract grower barns that raise pigs for us.
Yeah, was that the first time that you had this situation?
This is the first time we've had a situation where there's nowhere to go with pigs. There's no home for pigs. Mm-hmm. In 1998, we experienced extremely low prices, but there was packer capacity, there was capacity in finishing barns, there was just an overproduction. This is the first time I've experienced where there's not enough space in barns, there's not room in the chains at packers. So this is, we've overused the term unprecedented quite a bit lately, but that's certainly what we're seeing. It's tough to say. As an industry, we think we have somewhere in this country between 5 and 10 million pigs that will probably never fit back into a supply chain. They're either too big or there's not enough room for the baby pigs to come in. Mm-hmm. Most producers are holding off as long as possible in the hopes that packers can get ramped up to full capacity and then some in an attempt to catch up. But most packers are running at about an 80% capacity right now, so we are not catching up. Every producer I know is in the same situation. There's just not that many packers in this country that would change any of our own circumstances. The problem right now is certainly not a shortage of pigs. It's the inability to turn pigs into pork right now. Ideally, we would begin to see packers get back to full capacity and operate every Saturday so they can pick up a day a week there, hopefully an attempt to make up for some lost time. But just like today's Memorial Day here in the U.S. and all the packers are closed, so we're already down to a shortened week this week with everything being shut down today. I think I think the warm weather and the heat will slow down pigs' growth. It usually does. They just don't eat as much when it's hot out. And so I think that will help in slowing down growth. But ultimately, I think we're all just trying to buy a little more time. But at some point, we're going to run out of time, and decisions are going to have to be made. Now, feed costs are about slightly over half the cost of production because we're feeding these pigs longer than we've ever done before. Mm-hmm. We've got pigs on feed that should have been gone 35 or 40 days ago that are still hanging out. And it's not like you can limit feed them or sort of intermittently feed them. Those just aren't options for us. So the pigs continue to eat, albeit a slightly cheaper ration than if we were trying to put weight on them. But our feed costs are definitely over half the cost of production now. It would include labor. It would include yardage. So the cost of the space that the pigs are occupying. It would include utilities. It would include manure application. So those are a few items that make up the other portions of the costs. If we're able to market those pigs right now, and most producers have differing price discovery points on their contracts, so it does vary. But I would say, on average, producers are losing between, say, $40 and $80 a head would be what the losses are. And that's assuming that you could get the pigs to a packer. If those pigs have to be euthanized, then obviously the cost is much higher. It's not only are there financial considerations, obviously there's animal welfare considerations as well. I think most producers right now are willing to take the losses, the economic losses, in return for just being able to get their pigs into the food chain. But the financial considerations are certainly are going to be very burdensome for this. Yes. Well, we're trying to remain optimistic, and we're going to try to do our best to get through it. We think we will. And we'll learn a number of things through this situation, and hopefully come out better on the other side.